Hey guys, what's up? It's Zainab with another video. This time I'm gonna play against the AI again, but that's nothing new. But one thing that I want to do was try some new economy strategies. So in my game that I played against Niko last week that I lost, he played an industry on turn 1 plus a barracks, which was pretty interesting to me because I generally dislike industries. So we'll see how it plays out. One advantage of this strategy is that on turn 2 you have exactly 15 gold that is, so you can exactly build a gunner or a sapper. Now this is against AI, so I know they're not going to counter me. So I know I can build a gunner, but if you want to play a bit defensive and just scout with your militia and then have a sapper behind it, you can do that as well. So the bad thing is, on turn 2 you cannot build anything else. So you cannot build a settler to make a farm. So normally I would want to build a settler on turn 2 if I build a settler, but this time I can't. So farms, if you want to build them, try to make them in winter, year 1. If you build them in autumn, you could have just made a settler a turn later, because if you build the farm in autumn, the first time you're going to get money from it is in the next spring, because farms are slow like that. So because farms take 1 turn to wind up, and then in winter, of course, they're not giving you any money. So, but with this strategy, even if you make a farm, you're not going to get it up until spring, year 2. So you're going to miss even another season of money. So I kind of dislike that from it, but I do like having the industry already. So you get some income guaranteed at least, because especially on small maps, if the other person is very aggressive and your economy strategy depends on something that doesn't happen in year 1, they might snipe your settler or something. For example, if this guy is going to make a farm right here or right here, and he's going to build it in spring 2, then I might already be close with my militia and I might get lucky and kill a settler. So that's what I don't like about the strategy, but what I do like is that you get the early barracks still and some industry, because it's better than barracks plus nothing. Industry does give you some consistent money, and it's actually, for money, I find that I tried it out a few times and I found that in shorter games, even in longer games, it's not that bad with pollution. I think you lose about 2 tiles of greenness around your city at some point. So I played a game against Barracks, which is another top 5 player, and I built an industry there, and by the end my city could only get up to 4, but it did still get up to 4 because of my industry, which tried out 2 tiles. And this is actually bad by me, because my settler can only move 2 spaces, so it can't move that far away from my city. So if I build it here, then this city will have 1, 2, 3, 4. I can still get 5 niceness. It probably won't because of the industry, but that's like a loss of 1 income, so it's not too bad. So I maybe shouldn't have built this settler anyway, because now I only have 14. I would have had 16 otherwise. Now I can build another gunner. That's not that big of a deal, because I want to build militia anyway. So that's another thing. I keep underestimating how much building militia each turn costs. Oh yeah, each turn. Each second turn. But still. There's 10 gold for the first 2 militia. It's actually quite a lot. So as you can see, I'm now building my farm in spring year 2, so I'm not getting money until summer year 2. So I lose out on, I guess, 8 compared to building a settler in year 1 and building the farm before spring. But that's not that big of a problem, I think. It's 8 gold, but it's not the end of the world. I could build another industry as well, which would probably be a good investment. I don't want to pollute that much. I don't know where this AI is getting all the money from. He already built 2 times. It's pretty expensive. Is he going for another? I'm not sure. Also, as a triple militia, this guy must have no money left over. But that's normal mood for you. He's a really big fan of towns and triple militia, apparently. anyway, let's just keep going. So I do like my economy, right? I think my income is, let's see, it's 8, not counting this town, of course, because you don't always capture a town that early. So it's 8 from the farm, 3 from the industry, it's 11. And it's gonna be 21. Well, 20. See, I lost this space now. So 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 4. This town is not gonna get up higher than 4. So that's a shame, but it's not that big of a deal. I still have 20 income each turn, which means that I can build a gunner or sapper each turn plus militia each turn, which is exactly what I have the buildings for. So that's perfect, actually. So I do like this strategy, I will say. I think long term, maybe having 2 farms would be better. Especially if you're playing against a skilled opponent, then you really want those industry, or not industry, you want those barracks upgrades as soon as possible, so then you might build a second farm. But I think this map is not great for building farms. There's no big open space anywhere. So now that this town is full, I might build a settler and then build a second farm here, because then the town is back up to full, and as long as I don't build anything, it's not gonna lose that. But I don't like this map for farms that much. So on this map, you could build a second industry, to be honest. I mean, can I build it? I can build it there. No, I can build it there. So maybe I could do that, and then by the time it pollutes the second one, this might, I don't know. I lose 1 in from this, because I think if I build a second industry, then this one's never gonna get 4 again, because one of these 2 spaces is gonna immediately dry out. So I probably not doing this. This one does have 6, so I could build an industry here. Let's just do that. And build it here. So if you ever want to build tanks, we can send them on the bottom. Probably won't though. Let's make a stepper here and move this guy. So normally, when playing against good opponents, I would recommend doing single industry, double farm. And then, of course, depending on the map and the opponent situation, you can adapt your military. I still recommend building a barracks at the latest autumn year 1. So you can at least defend yourself. Of course, with industries, you do have some defense, but if they occupy your town with like a double militia and you're going to shell your own town or city that time, then you're going to lose your city very quickly. You don't want that. That also costs money. So yeah. So that's not recommendable, I think. So I would just say either double. If you think you can win early, then single industry, single farm would probably still be enough. Or if you think you win really easily, just go single town, even though that's barely profitable anyway. I do it quick. I do it often, but that's because I underestimate my opponents a lot. I should probably not do that against good opponents. It's pretty much how I lost against Niko. So it's not recommended. I'm also not really paying that much attention here. I'm losing a little bit, I think. I'm not winning that. This it spams a lot of militia, so I'm not sure where it's getting money from. I don't know if it has a farm or something here, but it does have 1 industry, of course. But these militia are actually decent at taking down my gunner, which I don't like, because I like my gunners alive. But it's a big difference. Oh, and another thing with farms, why I like them for economy, is because you can build militia there. So they can basically defend themselves a little bit. Not against gunners and the likes, but they can defend themselves against other militia. So that's also great. And they can also be used a little bit offensive. So if I were to build a farm, maybe here, it would have been pretty decent offensive position as well. So yeah, I gotta say I like farms and industry more now that I lost the game. Anyway, let's just play this out, see how it goes. AI is holding pretty decently, and let's see what score I get at the end. So the game that I played against Barracks, which I did play some more economy because I didn't underestimate him. He was second on the leaderboard at the time, I think. So I definitely didn't want to underestimate him. I built more economy. I think I built 2 farms at least, maybe an industry as well. And I won at the end with 59 points. I think he also had 2 farms. So it wasn't that bad. It was a pretty long game, like 40 minutes. So yeah, it was still a surprisingly high score, I gotta say. It was also one of the first games where I used the lockdown from the gunner pretty efficiently. I never really got to try that, but at one point it was on this same map. I had double gunner here, he had triple gunner here, and I was moving first. So it's kind of a game of chicken, of who dares move towards the other. Well, there were trees here, so I didn't want to move in there, because of course double gunner has 6 shots. If he even hit a tree once, he's gonna survive with 1 gunner. So I just locked down here, where there were no trees anymore. He walked in, tried to shoot me, but if you lock down with a gunner, it's one of the comments, you can lock down 1 space, and anything that moves into that space, just you shoot at it. So he didn't even get a chance to shoot at me, because I instantly shot his triple gunner, and that's basically how I sealed the game. I was already winning. I think I was in a winning position for most of the game. It was a fun game. It took a little bit long, like 40 minutes. But he didn't try to stall like I did against Niko either. So that's of course also a thing. He did stall a bit, but not too much. Not like building 2 new cities. Because of course in the end game you're always gonna have a lot of money. So you can stall pretty easily even if you're behind. Like if I were to, I can't do anything with my money right now. I have units I need to control. That was one thing that I found, that I didn't have enough commands. Like see, you will usually, I don't really use, you can kind of micro everything, but if you do that, then you can barely build anything anymore. So that was my problem. I wanted to out micro him, but then in doing so, I lost the ability to spam units, so I ended the game with like 150 gold as well, I think. I had a triple upgraded barracks here and double upgraded barracks here. It was a fun game. Let's focus this. Let's capture this. Is it actually gonna capture this back? I don't know. It's not gonna upgrade it though, probably. Let's move this goes there. Oh, that was bad. Okay. Why is not gonna kill my double gunner? So I'm probably still gonna win pretty quickly. But you already see that if you don't rush against this AI, if I were to do this strategy against Rampant Rhino or Hungry Hippo, I would still beat him easily. Against this AI, if you take even a little bit more conservative strategy, like I did here, then it gets time to set up, and it's actually pretty good at that, you see. So it gets a decent defensive position, gets some units out there. It's not attacking, but it's also not losing. Well, it is losing, but it's not rolling over like the other ones. It kind of knows what to do. Unless you're playing on Oasis, and the AI basically just walks your rifleman back and forth into the desert. This is also kind of a weird move. Moving your units away from the city. But it, of course, it's never going to be perfect. But it's a lot better than the other ones. So I'm moving first here, so this is a win. GG, Mr. AI. Ooh, he even has another town there. He just built that. 71. See, that's partly because he barely built any farms. He built some towns, and there's some dead space here from all the fighting. So 71 is pretty decent, I would say, still. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you learned something about how to build your economy. If you have any questions, let me know.